So that's the time gap in there. Now here, I'd like to tell you about the concept, how it was developed, and why it was developed like that. So it was between the relationship between a father and a son. The father was involved with the freedom fighter, and he's a very righteous person, and he was affected during the uh, Gandhiji's movement, in which he was hit by the British police, and he continued to have that pain till now. So, based on that strength, he tried to motivate his son to become very righteous. But at the same time, when it was in that condition, the son's concept of freedom is very different than the concept of freedom by the father. The father is to be more practical in terms of developing his sensibilities, whereas his son was more romantic in terms of his freedom. But at the end, it gets summarized in the form that I want to see the conceptual form of freedom through your sword fight. That's called a chow dance. In Odisha, there is something called chow dance. So that's what he ultimately did. And it was done in a pastel color form at the end, because it is actually a concept. In reality, you have to perform it very rigorously, then only you will be able to understand what exactly is the value of freedom. And that's what you will see, that you saw it. And anything you want to like to ask about the film?
Do you have any questions? Or any comment that you've seen?
Hello, sir. As a student of mass communication, I didn't understand the language of this film, but I really enjoyed the film. What I learned after watching this film, that उस आदमी के अंदर कोई ना कोई ख्वाहिश थी. So he wants to continue the legacy of the आज़ादी. So उसने जो लास्ट पे जो उसकी बेटी ने जो तलवारबाजी से जो शो किया उसके सामने, उसके बाद ही जो वो मर गया वो बुजुर्ग आदमी. तो so he wants to convince his son that कि आज़ादी की जो जंग थी वो सिर्फ हम लोगों ने सिर्फ लड़ी नहीं थी, कि बल्कि उसका जो शूर है वो आपके अंदर भी जो है वो आना चाहिए, और आपको भी जो है वो सीखना चाहिए कि आज़ादी की इम्पोर्टेंस क्या थी. So I just share my opinion about this movie. So I didn't know that whether it's correct or wrong. So you can correct it.
Yeah, that you are right, because of course one is the problem, the language.
Yeah, there was
Because
a
language,
Odisha
there is no
language.
English subtitle is there.
Yeah.
So that probably would have made you understand much better.
But as a student of mass communication, I understand the non-verbal communication.
That's
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other comment? Any other anything that you'd like to discuss with us?
मेरा क्वेश्चन है, माइक ले लीजिए, माइक भी देख पीछे, माइक लीजिए. At the end of that movie, आपने एक वो बर्ड है वहाँ पर बैठा हुआ था, तो उसका क्या आप मीनिंग वहाँ पर?
वो जो कबूतर के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, क्योंकि उसका एक लिंक है. In the beginning of the film, this boy is very fond of catching those pigeons, and he used to, once when he was very small, he managed to catch a pigeon, and the father tells that, why are you imprisoning the pigeon by holding it? You leave it back, because he wants to be free and he wants to enjoy the space by flying around. So you let it become free. So before you leave it, what you do, you put a red thread on his leg so that you know this is the bird which you had caught it and it has flown away. So that is the link.
Sir,
उसने उसके पैर में
red color का हाँ ribbon था. Sir, another observation that I did, I've not seen the whole thing, but the way that you told us that the father was, he had fought for the independence and he had been strangled with the British. So I don't know if it should be a proper directorial approach or a cinematographer's approach that his room was lit in yellow and warm colors, whereas the son's ambience around him was with cool colors in blue and shades of blue. So and his approach to freedom, his sense of freedom was different than that of his father's. So that might be a directorial decision or a cinematographer's decision to.
There is a certain element of depression in the tonal form in the room.
In the room. With red, with the hints of red and yellow, warm colors.
Correct. And that was done with intention that, see, the daylight was there, but instead of that incandescent light like the lamp was there. But the film was tuned to shoot on incandescent light. So that's no, in the daylight format. So when the lamp used to come, it used to be orangish, yellowish light. So that is the reflection of his mood, which has been presented through this lighting system. And because he gets so depressed, there are certain facts in life which he hadn't disclosed it to his son, that he wanted to get a job for his son, and for that he has to bribe somebody to get that job, which the son couldn't believe, because he had thought of him as an ideal person. But he could do that, which gets very terribly disturbed. So this is the conflict. It happens to every human being. You can never be stuck with any one notion. It keeps on varying according to your mental perception about certain things. Certain value to life also takes a different shape, different form.
Also, sir, the use of, I don't know, because we're seeing it from the middle, the use of that gramophone sound, because when we started watching it, the piano was playing in a completely offsetting
No, see,
kind of situation.
that record was being played. When he was getting a lot of pain, he requested his son, because before that he has an interest in listening to Beethoven's music, and he has asked one of the villagers to get him a record from the town, because he couldn't get it here, so he got it from the town, and that becomes a reference.
That became interesting when he started talking about Hitler.
Yeah.
That's
great. So that link has been connected with a lot of logical sensibility.
Sir, my small observation, in the end of the film, there are two shots. One is the person walking from the water and he's walking on the bridge. It was a long shot and we couldn't see any boomstick or anything. It was done, the audio of the water was done in post-production, or it was recorded on the spot. And if it is recorded on the spot, how it has been recorded?
It was actually this the sound recordist. He preferred to record it before the actual sound has not been recorded, but in outside sound was created, and then the theaters were taken.
Sir, in the beginning, son was dreaming killing his father. What was that?
It is not, see, this father tells the son, because he is going through very severe pain, and I cannot tolerate it anymore now. So why can't you kill me? So that idea was put into his mind by his father himself. So when he goes back, when he goes to sleep, and he goes and rests in his room, he sort of mentally is reflecting this idea.
Okay. Thank
that
you.
he is trying to give.
सर 28 साल पहले की फिल्म है सर, जब टेक्निकली जो स्ट्रांग भी नहीं थे हम लोग, लेकिन आज 2025 में जब इस फिल्म को देखते हैं, जो भी आपने हिस्सा बताया है सर, ये पिक्चराइजेशन जो था सर, सुपर सर। उसमें 2-3 चीज़ें मैंने ऑब्जर्व की हैं सर। पानी में जब वो फादर को लेकर जाता है तो उसका रिफ्लेक्शन जो आता है पानी में, एकदम क्लियरिटी है सर। और घर पर जब वो दुविधा में रहता है कि भाई उसकी मौत होने वाली है, तो उस वक्त जो है धूप थी सर उनके घर में, लेकिन उसी वक्त आप लोगों ने गड़गड़ाहट वाली और जो है बादल जो बताए हैं, तो गरजदार आवाज आती है, तो क्या इंसर्ट शॉट था सर वो, या फिर वही वो सीक्वेंस में मौसम ही ऐसा था?
वो
इंसर्ट किए वैसा दिख रहा
ऐसे
है।
शूट किया गया।
हाँ, वही अलग से शूट किए ना सर वो। हाँ, वही पूछना था। थैंक यू सर।
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था सर, जब उनके घर में ग्रामफोन था, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी होगा जब, तो उसी के साथ फिर लालटेन भी यूज कर रहे थे, तो उसका क्या मतलब है सर? समझ
ग्रामोफोन था तो इट्स अ हाउस इन अ विलेज।
जी सर।
एंड द हाउस हैज नॉट बीन इलेक्ट्रिफाइड।
अच्छा,
तो इट इज ओनली
यूज फॉर बैटरी? इट इज वर्क फॉर बैटरी?
बैटरी।
अच्छा,
ग्रामोफोन बैटरी से चलता है।
अच्छा ठीक है सर।
ग्रामोफोन इलेक्ट्रिक से पहले नहीं चलता।
ठीक है।
पैक्ड होते थे बैटरी, उसको ऐसे चार्ज चाबी
वो वाइंड करते हैं।
जी जी हाँ, थैंक यू सर। वही
सर एक्चुअली में विजुअल्स जितने भी है उसमें सब लगभग में सर उसमें विजुअल्स सारे तो ओरिजिनल सी लगे, पर एक साउंड के लिए मैं पूछना चाहूँगा, उसमें ओरिजिनल साउंड है या मतलब अलग से उसमें दिया गया है?
साउंड का मतलब कौन सा?
साउंड मीन्स जितने भी साउंड्स थे तो वो सर ऑन रिकॉर्डेड एट द टाइम ऑफ रिकॉर्डेड नहीं था, वैसा कुछ लगा था।
सम ऑफ द इफेक्ट्स,
साउंड इफेक्ट्स भी उसमें कुछ ऐड से क्रिएटेड है, मीन्स ऑन रिकॉर्ड नहीं है एट द टाइम ऑफ रिकॉर्डिंग। लाइक कि उसमें साउंड्स वाटर के या वो
म्यूजिक पार्ट ऑफ इट इन द एंड।
हाँ,
लाइक
कि
ट्यून टू व्हिच इट डांसेस।
सर वो जो बूढ़े वाले थे अंकल,
हाँ, जो डांस करता है।
नहीं वो नहीं, जो हिचकी लेते हुए या मतलब सोते वक्त भी, तो वो साउंड थोड़ा सा अलग सा लग रहा था सर। तो वो वॉइस ओवर किया गया अलग से, ये कैसे?
उसको रिकॉर्ड किया गया
अलग से। ओके।
Maybe we can move to next thing. एक डॉक्यूमेंट्री का भी पोर्शन था ना छोटा सा। एक्चुअली में क्या है, सॉरी सर, पहले जैसे 35 mm पे शूट होता था, ये फिल्म एक्चुअली में 35 mm पे शूट हुई है। तो जो आपका क्वेश्चन है कि रिकॉर्ड किया गया कि क्या है, अब के जैसे नहीं हो पाता था। जैसे हम अब डिजिटल पे शूट करते हैं तो साउंड भी रिकॉर्ड कर लेते हैं, पहले नागरा होता था और 35 mm अलग होती थी। तो जो भी है, एक पायलट तो हम रिकॉर्ड करते थे उस समय, सर ने भी किया था पायलट रिकॉर्ड, लेकिन उसका फाइन ट्यून तो है, उस रिकॉर्डिंग बाद में ही होती थी। हाँ, और उस 35 mm पे ट्रैक्स होते थे, साउंड नेगेटिव ये सब होता था। तो पहले हम लोग उसको मैग्नेटिक टेप पे रिकॉर्ड करते थे, फिर उसको फिर हम ट्रांसफर करते थे अलग से। तो जो भी आप उस इरा की 2010 के पहले की जो भी फिल्म देखेंगे, ज्यादातर उसमें सब मैक्सिमम चीजें रिकॉर्ड होती थी। ओरिजिनल बहुत रेयर इस्तेमाल होता था, यानी बहुत मस्ट है, यानी हमारी फिल्म के लिए। और सर की फिल्म में तो सारी आपको रियलिस्टिक के नजदीक ले जाएंगी। आप सर की फिल्म जो भी देखेंगे, हम लोग तो लकी हैं कि सर की फिल्म मैक्सिमम देखे हैं। मैं तो अपने 10 साल की उम्र में भी सर की फिल्म देखा था 1978 में। हाँ, तो बाजा वाजा फिल्म आपकी तो सर वही एनएफडीसी के प्रीमाइसेस में, उस समय मेरी उम्र 17 ईयर्स के आसपास थी, तब हमने देखा है। तो सर की फिल्म हमेशा रियलिस्टिक होती है, तो मैक्सिमम चीजें रिकॉर्डेड ही इस्तेमाल किया जाता था उस एरा में। अब आप कुछ भी कर सकते हैं। सॉरी, थैंक यू।
थंडरिंग साउंड वगैरह जो आपने सुना ना, वो सब पूरा वो सब क्रिएट किया गया बाद में, वो सब ऑन लोकेशन नहीं है कुछ।
वो फोली कहते हैं
फॉली का एक बिजनेस है, फॉली आर्टिस्ट का बहुत बड़ा, पढ़िएगा उसके बारे में तो और पता रहेगा।
उनका बैग होता है उसमें
Yes.
होली का बहुत जितने साउंड होते हैं उसमें पिकअप करते हैं।
Right. So
तो देखेंगे
Desert King
डेजर्ट किंग देखें।
Right.
You must have noticed there's a certain kind of abstraction in the movement around the camera. Now, this, as I told you, the ethereal aspects of the situation and atmosphere, and the way the camel was performing on the desert. Based on that, there's a lot of light was also flashing into the camera. You must have noticed, and that was done with the intention that it gives an enhanced feeling of the strength of a camera. And this was also shot in 1997.
Almost 30 years back.
30 years back.
So it's a wonderful documentary, visual documentary without any narration.
Without any narration.
So it's 10-minute documentary.
Correct.
How long was the footage? Sir?
Footage was around 35 minutes.
So out of 35 minutes, we
Yes.
have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So without narration, doing a documentary is very tough.
Because right on the location,
Right.
the visualization was realized at that time. It was very spontaneously it was done. But you should be mentally create a kind of a sensibility
Right.
that should keep on working inside you as a visualizer.
Which camera was used?
Sir,
It was a Sony camera.
सर एक शूट था कि जैसे ऊँट दौड़ रहा है तो उस दौरान जो शूट लिया गया था जैसे हमारे पास अभी है डॉली कैमरा है ड्रोन है कि हम उसको ये मूव कर सकते हैं लेकिन उस समय कैसे अगर इंसान अगर चलते हुए अगर शूट करेंगे तो फिर तो कैमरा यू हो जाएंगे ना
Yeah, because as far as the technique is concerned, camera is connected with the technical nature of image recording. And how you do it depends on your ability to realize this situation and accordingly follow it up. So you have to be very flexible in by yourself. You cannot be
सर
very
कैमरा की बात मतलब वो कैमरा यूज कौन सा कैमरा किया गया था जैसे आप हम कैमरा शूट करते हैं कि ड्रोन कोई ऐसा शूट होते हैं तो हम
क्योंकि वहाँ उस टाइम पे ड्रोन वगैरह तो नहीं था
या तो डोली से करते हैं वो जो ऊंट जो दौड़ रहा था उस वक्त तो जो ये और दूसरा क्वेश्चन सर कि जो ऊंट के पीछे जो रेतीली की तरह है वो क्रिएट किया गया था या तो नेचुरली वो रेत ये धुंधला सा लग रहा था
जैसा नेचुरल था
नेचुरल
As I told you, no, right on the spot, spontaneously, you are able to visualize. And you have to structure your visualization in such a way that it has already formed, it created a form. And that's very important because if you have your basics understanding about a concept, then you try to design the concept based on your sensibility. And that's why you get a different level of visualization.
Sir, camel is such a huge animal, right? So man masculine has very less rights, sir. So to what I can say, to ride that huge animal like camel, and he is able to poking something into the camel nose and handling it in such a way, and at the end riding the camel in such an fascinating manner. It really triggered me at the end, sir. It's really amazing at the end.
See, when you shoot on location, even though you must have worked out your pattern of shooting, still it is a challenge for you. Because you have to constantly keep on shifting to a new vision. constantly, even though you must have worked out in the beginning in terms of your script format, in terms of your imaging format, whatever you've done, you are still on a challenging task because you are all the time developing things as it is happening. As I told you before, that there are fleeting moments, passing moments, transient moments. You have to capture them.
Okay, I noticed that there were a lot of low angle shots to like show that the camel is seen as a more superior thing than humans. And I also noticed that there was this one shot where they show human feet and the camel's hooves together, like a movement. And there was this one particular scene where a human being is wearing new slippers, getting into new slippers and walking. What was the reason or meaning behind that particular?
Because it was a celebrated occasion as a camel being the king. So in that occasion, there are certain celebration in which people will like to buy things, enjoy the life, the way things are happening around them. So basically for that.
The documentary is really nice. Also, the close shots of the camel makes it more majestic and intimidating. And also, on the, I noticed this in like when the performance or entertaining, the next shot is showing the camel, or they entertaining the camels. Is that what you wanted to show in the documentary? Okay.
Because they are actually making the camel to enjoy their life by their own performance.
The even the harmony of the music and the editing was really subtle, like had more effective, like from audience POV. It's really nice.
तो ये
नेक्स्ट सेशन
नेक्स्ट सेशन
सर उनका एक डाउट क्लियर करते हैं जैसे उसने आपके स्टूडेंट कैमरा उनका ये पूछना था कि how you take at that time
you have to be flexible. Exactly. You have to so you have to understand your camera and your flexibility. I think you should be able to handle it.
So you can talk about that shot that you took.
Handled in
airplane.
Even Session-1, your camera moves 360 degrees. It is all done on handheld.
हैंडल कैमरा इसमें भी हैंडल बहुत था तो इनको मैं थोड़ा क्लियर करता हूं सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है इस फिल्म से रिलेटेड नहीं है लेकिन किसी स्टूडेंट ने एक क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि तब ड्रोन नहीं था किसने पूछा था वो आपने देखिए मैक्सिमम क्या होता है कि जब हम किसी भी सब्जेक्ट को डिसाइड करते हैं जैसे सर ने डिसाइड किया किंग्स डेजर्ट किंग उस तरह के सब्जेक्ट से रिलेटेड जब 97 में उस समय ड्रोन नहीं था तो ये टोटल जो है सिनेमाटोग्राफर के ऊपर डिपेंड होता है कि हम क्या इक्विपमेंट और क्या लेंस यानी तब हम टेक्नोलॉजी पे जाते हैं कि हम कैसे इस्तेमाल करते हैं जैसे कि उस समय ये सब नहीं होता था तो उस समय हमारे पास लेंस होते थे वाइड एंगल लेंस 9.8 फ्री साइज लेंस 5.6 है ना और उसी पीरियड में मतलब 15 mm 20 mm 25 mm ये सब लेंस होते थे हाँ उस हिसाब से हमको वाइड एंगल लेंस इस्तेमाल करके ज्यादातर हैंड हैंडल शॉट ही इस्तेमाल करते थे हम लोग जो भी शूट करता था तो मैक्सिमम पॉसिबल है कि उस समय कैमरामैन को अपना एथिक्स अपना दिमाग और अपना जो नॉलेज है वो लगाना पड़ेगा कि हम शूट कैसे करते हैं और सब्जेक्ट को जस्टिफाई कैसे करते हैं वही हमारा मतलब हमारा वही नॉलेज है और वही सीखना है और सर से वही सीखना है हाँ वही कह रहा हूँ ना कि बहुत सारे चैलेंजिंग होते थे लेकिन वो सिनेमाटोग्राफर का काम होता था कि वो कैसे करे तो उसमें इक्विपमेंट के साथ साथ ये डिसीजन लेना कि हम शूट जो टूल्स है हमारे पास कैमरा लेंसेज हम उसको कैसे इस्तेमाल करेंगे ये है
Actually, there is something which you have to be very concerned is the visual design. When you are something you are liking it, that doesn't give you the opportunity to design or construct or structure your visual form. For that, you should constantly be taking care of your montage. You all know what is a montage?
डिफाइन कीजिए कोई montage. कोई डिफाइन माइक दे दीजिए किसी को. Cutting a large sequence into smaller segments.
See, there is, in terms of design, you have to understand what are the factors that governs your design. Based on that, the emotional factors also have to be brought in. Now, in that visual design, when I'm mentioning about montage, you are actually trying to see the rhythm of your imaging design, and as well as the what, how you are going to create your montage based on the kind of shots that you are going to take. Whether it is a long shot you are taking, or it is a wide shot you are taking, or taking a close shot you are taking. You have to be very clear in terms of its rhythm, pattern, motion, what kind of momentum you want to create. So accordingly, your visual design is developed.
So we see a lot of montages in this film, actually, this standard duration film. I mean, this film is almost lyrical. I mean, though you can call it rhythmic montage also, but for me it was like lyrical montages, various montages we were watching for 10 minutes. So as Sir said, Sir rightly said, I mean, it's about the visual design of your film. How you pursue your film, and then finally you shoot it and you edit it accordingly.
Because visual design is another aspect at in the filming stage. But before that, you have to your conceptual design also have to be done. So you have to develop your concept on the strength of your experiences, based on your perception. So you are also there designing. So then constantly your brain is working on a different level to create the design, rhythm, format, movement, texture, all this, at which I'll be going to talk to you in the next year. But this is what you should be aware of. So you can, what you have seen today, you can work it out in terms of your understanding the rhythm, the design, the structure, the movement, the texture of the film, or point of view, in which your point of view also plays a role in terms of your design.
Sir, I have a very small question here, sir. My question is to Mr. Bir sir. Sir, recently मैंने एक इंटरव्यू देखा था इनका डिक पोप साहब का, तो उन्होंने इसमें ये मतलब कहा था कि मतलब बहुत सारे सीन जो उन्होंने अपने फिल्मों में जो डिज़ाइन किए हैं, वो बहुत सारे जो पेंटर्स हैं या फोटोग्राफर्स हैं, उनकी पेंटिंग से या फिर फोटो से इंस्पायर्ड है. जैसे उनकी जो उसमें जो कंपोजिशन है, जो लाइट्स है उसमें, तो उसमें उन्होंने एक पेंटर्स का नाम लिया था, एडवर्ड होपर, बहुत मशहूर पेंटर हैं, और मतलब उनके पेंटिंग को उन्होंने उसमें उनका जिक्र किया था कि उनकी बहुत सारी जो पेंटिंग है उससे इंस्पायर्ड होकर उन्होंने बहुत सारे सीन को अपने कंस्ट्रक्ट किया है. तो सर इसमें आप इसको हाउ यू विल एक्सप्लेन सर?
Yeah, that is true, because painting is another form of art where you create the visual language on a different level, so that you are able to create a motion in your static form. It is static, and yet you are able to create a kind of emotion. And then for that, you take the help of a painter, and painting the way the paint, because the painter has to communicate everything within that one frame, where you have got the ability to design or communicate your narration in a flowing manner for a longer time. And that is the difference. One is to painting shows you in a condensed form, and whereas cinema shows you in a fluent form.
don't have more questions, maybe we can move to our next section.
So we still have 20 minutes.
So next session comes. So maybe we can move to this.
So we can show that the water thing.
Water.
10 minutes.
Which one? Water.
there are certain things in this film you must have noticed that has been created, like the water, the pool of water in the desert that was created because you are not finding a puddle in the mid of a desert. So you have to create that. So we created it by putting plastic seats on floor. And we dug it out, made it a kind of a open space, then put a plastic seat on that, and to cover the plastic seat, we put sand on that, so it looks like as if it is
so natural actually.
So these are the things sometimes you have to do. So you have to keep your mind active in terms of an adventure. So it is like an adventure. And you must have seen the out of focus movement of the camel coming in the beginning. That is also done with this is called technical process by which we created a iron slab and underneath we kept the gas cylinder and then heat it up, and then when it got heated up you can see the waves of smoke coming up, wafting smoke, and through that you took that shot.
सर वो सॉन्ग जो रिकॉर्ड किया था आपने स्टूडियो में किया था?
स्टूडियो में
टायर का जो शॉट है कंटिन्यू फॉलो किया था?
It is a continuous follow. It is running with the. No. See, at that time we didn't have. This was also shot somewhere in about 30 years back. Now that's so common, like Steadicam is common, or Jimmy Jeep is very common, a drone is very common.
Hello, sir.
Drone is using misuse of drone. There is a certain visualization. Yes.
सर वो फिल्म के शुरू में जो एक लॉन्ग शॉट रहता है जिसमें सामने से ऊँट में बैठकर आता है, तो वो जो हम एक एनवायरनमेंट देखते हैं जिसमें गैस वाला फीलिंग आता है, तो वो कैसे आपने शूट किया?
वही बताया था ना जो हीट. So if you heat a slab of iron piece, when it gets so heated up, you can feel the heat waves going up. So through that heat waves, we took that shot.
Thank you.
आयरन स्लैब को सिलेंडर नीचे लगा के गर्म किया गया. आयरन स्लैब से फिर वो ऊपर फ्यूम आना शुरू हुआ ना, तो पीछे कैमरा लगा हुआ है तो इफेक्ट आया.
तो उस सीन को शूट करते वक्त आपने क्या सोचा था कि मतलब क्या दिखाना चाह रहे हैं आप?
Basically, the idea was to shoot in a desert. The heat, in the heat, you can see the heat wafting up, and we wanted to shoot it from there. So, but actually, it was not so hot in the desert area to get that heat. So we have to create something. So in order to create, we have to test it. We tested it also, and then we shot it.
Thank you.
ये तो 35 में शूट हुई है ना सर?
नहीं ये वीडियो पे. वीडियो. Because sometimes you have to adapt to situations and you should be very clear about your concept. Based on that only, you should work out your dramatic pattern.
सर लास्ट वाला सीन में देखा कि बच्चे होली खेल रहे थे और अचानक से वीडियो रुक गया, फिर एक शॉट आया, वो बुजुर्ग पानी लेने जा रहे थे, वो टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम था या फिर
क्या समझ
लास्ट शॉट में
हाँ
अचानक बच्चे होली खेल रहे थे और रुक गया वीडियो, तो वो टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम था या फिर वैसा?
नहीं वो तो नोइंगली किया गया है,
अच्छा,
नोइंगली किया गया है।
डेलिबरेटली, आई थिंक यही तो सोचना, ये तो सिनेमा है और है क्या। सो डेलिबरेटली फ्रीज होता है एक शॉट ना, वहाँ पे जब तक पानी आप एंजॉय कर रहे हो, मामी होली खेल रहे हो, सब कुछ काम कर रहे हो, पानी जैसे नहीं है तो फिर क्या होता है, फिर वो एक बंजर में आते हुए दिखाया ना एक आदमी को, फिर वो पानी कहाँ ऊपर तलाशने जा रहा है वहाँ, तो वो कॉन्ट्रास्ट दिखाया पूरा, पानी है तो सब कुछ है, अदरवाइज कुछ भी नहीं।
The last you see he goes up on the rocky area to get the water. The idea was not that he goes and get the rocky area. The concept was that it is always difficult to reach to your water. So you should understand the value of water.
So this film was made for some ministries.
Yeah.
This was a promotional
Yeah.
film basically. See, Children Film Society.
Children Film Society.
Sahi branch पे is
See,
now was also.
yeah.
So if you don't have more questions, so maybe we can.
Yes, I have two questions. Okay, yeah. The first one is that, like when the women were taking water from the well and transferring it from the bucket to the pot, I noticed that there was a significant amount of water flowing out of the pot as well. And also when an old man was drinking water, like one of the bahu of the house was,
Correct.
yeah, when he was drinking the water, a significant
Water was
amount.
dripping out.
Yes, was that on purpose? Like
It was
say
actually
water
naturally, it was
contrast.
captured naturally.
Okay, okay.
So you see, sometimes you have to adapt to the nature's instinct of how it happens.
Okay.
We intellectually we think that this is water is coming, it should not overflow, it should be precise, but it doesn't happen like that.
No, I thought it was intentionally done because people, even though they want to save water, they still end up wasting water. So I thought it was intentionally done
No,
that
no,
way.
it was natural.
Okay. And the second question I have is that there was this one woman throughout, like in the second half of the film, and she appeared to be brighter than the others. I think she was hired for the thing, and all of the other actors who were there, they were locals.
They're local people.
Yeah, yeah. So it was like, a desaturated background, and the woman is in the foreground because she was obviously standing out more.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So was that
Yeah,
why?
that was done because the lady was get up,
Okay.
but the proper dress and the decor on the ear, etc. It was actually decked up.
Okay. Was she meant to be richer than the other people or anything like that?
No, there are people, because we noticed there are people, they come from, when water is not there,
Yeah.
they come from different family background
Yeah.
and they come and take water to their home. So based on that only is another question of richer and different variation in terms of their outlook.
Okay.
So that's what they were trying to do.
And like it low-key bothered me that the woman was the only one smiling throughout the thing and everyone else was like,
Really?
yeah. That's all. Yes.
चले, ठीक है.
So friends, we'll go ahead with the break here, and we'll start with the second session after the break at 3:30 or 2:30 p.m. And those who've not collected, 2:30. Those who've not collected their lunch tokens, please